I see you. You know who? Little sister. Little sister. Now realized, little sister. Overlooked, little girl. Today, on my own podcast, we break down Sister. Hello, my friend. We meet again. Welcome to my own podcast, the only Creed podcast that we know of. My name is Andrew Colin, and with me, as always, is my buddy, my boy in blue, Reid Fenlaw. What's up, Reid? Okay, so you're a wolf now. You went from dog last week to wolf this week.
Yeah, I'm evolving. That is evolution, my friend.
I think that's de-evolution.
Still evolution. If you're in your car and you're put it in reverse and you drive in reverse, are you not still driving a car?
I don't know.
Or is that de-driving a car?
Yeah, that's de-driving.
Oh, okay, I'm de-driving my car.
That's a cool way to say that. Next time, like, when I got to reverse, I'm like, sorry, I got to put this in de-drive. People will be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Dick drive.
No, not like that.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, that was gross.
Yeah, you're a pretty gross guy.
Okay, so I'm evolving, though.
Yeah, next week you'll be a dinosaur? What came before
I'll
wolves? There's got to be a few steps in between dinosaur and wolf.
No, I'm going to be...
Especially because they're not related.
I'm going to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay. What noise does that make? That's pretty good, actually.
Thanks. There's a baby T-Rex.
You said, all right, whatever. What's up, dude?
Dude, I'm... So most people are probably just listening, but if you're watching the video, I'm like crying because I got...
You're so moved by the song.
I got a bunch of soap in my eyes when I washed my face this morning.
That's like a rookie mistake. You'd think at your age you'd figure out how to wash your face by now.
I do that every time.
Stop doing it like that.
My girlfriend is like, why? Every time you get out of the shower, you're crying. I'm like, yeah, it's because I clean my... You have to clean your eyes to keep your vision good.
So you're just like rubbing straight up Dove liquid soap into your eyeballs and keeping it there?
I don't use Dove. Sorry, Dove. But yeah, I suppose...
See, that just seems like a bad idea. Maybe get like a specific face wash.
Here's my theory.
Leave your eyes closed. Get eye drops. I have many solutions for you.
I do leave my eyes closed, but my theory is that I have defective eyelids that don't hermetically seal. So even when they're shut and I'm like scrubbing around my eyes with my eyes closed, it's still leaking in there because my eyelids are faulty, and it's not my fault.
I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess that most eyelids aren't hermetically sealed when they're closed.
Well,
stuff gets in.
Then how does no one else cry after they wash their face?
I'm just going to venture to say that they're not dumb morons.
Okay, point taken.
Okay.
Point taken.
So what you got going on this weekend, bro?
Well, pretty relaxing weekend. Going to dinner tonight with
Dinner?
the lady. Did I say that weird?
Yeah, kind of.
Going to dinner.
Okay, thank you.
Tonight with the lady.
Nice.
And doing a little work on a side project.
Cool.
That I can't talk about yet.
Is dinner at Chili's?
God, I wish we couldn't get in.
There, I fit in the reference this time.
You did it.
Okay, where is dinner?
Love you. We love you, Chili's.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's like 4 places in South Bay we're considering, and then we'll pick one and try to eat there and drink there.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I hope you have a great time.
What are you getting into? Your dad's coming in, right?
Yeah, he's flying in at noon today.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to go pick up Pops. We're going to go maybe this new sandwich place in Santa Monica.
Chili's?
No.
Oh.
I wouldn't consider Chili's a sandwich place.
I'd consider it an everything place.
And then we're just going to go back, chill at the house, chill with Nugget, my dog, and get sushi later. Kind of a chill day.
What's he in for?
He has like a conference, I think, in like West LA, and he came in a few days early so that he could hang with me.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
I wish I knew who my dad was.
You do. I think I've met him.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and your brother. And Reid, your sister.
Topical.
Yeah, that's why I brought that up. I did want to mention before we get into that, into the song today, that congratulations to us. We are now an internationally successful podcast.
What?
We have one download from Sweden.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
So to the Swedish listener out there, even though it's possible that you listened to 5 minutes of the Ode episode and just decided to quit, if you're still there, we love you.
I love you.
Sweden is awesome. I spent one half a day there on like a layover. It was like a full day with my now wife, and we had so much fun. It was just we were in Stockholm, and it was like such a cute little peaceful town. I wish we had more time there, but it was just really nice.
Let's go do a live podcast from Sweden.
Yeah, we'll see if that our one listener will fund it.
Yep.
Or at least tell a couple friends.
Hey, to our Swedish listener, I'd just like to say, tack.
What does that mean?
I think it means thank you on a quick Googling of it.
Okay.
Tack.
Nice. I just imagine like the one Swedish listener we have out there is listening right now and be like, oh, this is fucking awkward.
Man, that's huge.
That is cool though.
Here we
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah. Appreciate that. For real. That's awesome.
Let's get into it, Reid. Today's song, Sister. I don't have a sister. You do. You have a really lovely sister. Does this song mean anything to you because of having a relationship with a sister? And a little sister, I should add.
Somewhat. In the sense of at least how I interpreted the lyrics.
Okay.
Which overarchingly, I interpreted it as Scott speaking to and empathizing with the way that his sister felt growing up and making sure she feels seen and everything. So in that, I do. I also empathize with myself in the song because he talks about one of the first lines indicates that she's a middle child.
Okay.
And because she got caught in the middle.
Oh, you think we'll get into the specifics of the line, but I had a different interpretation of that.
Well,
but that makes sense.
Yeah, yours is wrong.
Okay.
Because I'm a middle child.
Oh yeah.
So had no choice, forgotten. Middle children notoriously feel neglected.
That's why you're so obsessed with trying to be funny and ridiculous.
That's why I'm awesome.
Oh, you're crying again from the soap, I think.
God damn it. You know what? I'm not going to reveal what brand I use because I don't want them to sue us.
Oh yeah, we don't want to defame them.
It's not Dove.
Okay. So when you're back, put yourself back in high school listening to this song, do you have any association with yeah, I have a sister?
I did have a sister in high school. So
no, I mean, but did that song speak to you anymore at the time because of that?
Honestly, no. I mostly glossed over this song.
Oh, okay. Because you hate your sister.
Because I hated. Well, I was probably jealous of her because she was better at basketball than me.
Was she cooler in high school? Or were you too far apart?
She was probably cooler.
Yeah. Most people are cooler than you, so.
Yeah, it's okay. I just wasn't that cool. I was tiny.
You're still tiny.
No, I'm not. I'm a pretty normal size. I was 5'11", 170. When I was a sophomore, I was 5'4", 120.
Oh, so cute.
I know.
I was pretty short until my senior year too, or later. I remember I have one of my best friends. When I met him in 8th grade, 9th grade, he towered over me, and then now we're the same height. And it's weird to think about. There's that time where Grant was just a foot taller than me.
Yeah, he peaked too soon.
Yeah, he grew real early, and I was a late bloomer.
But look at us now. Look at you now.
Average sized men.
Average sized men, just living it up.
I also similarly don't have any specific memories associated with this song. Although I think I remember it more than some of the other harsh filler tracks on this album. Sister, I think, does stand out a little bit more because of just the repetitive chorus and, I don't know, just again, sort of with Pity for a Dime, a specific calling to of something tangible, like a person. Whereas I don't know, those one word songs just Unforgiven or Illusion, I think are easy to forget about just because there's probably other songs named Illusion. But yeah, I don't have any really positive or negative associations with the song.
Blank slate.
Blank slate.
You can judge it fairly.
Yeah.
What you just said about other songs of the same name is actually probably why this song was always in the back of my head, because there's a song that I associate with my sister. The song is called Sister.
Is it by Stone Age. What? Oh, fuck.
The Nixons.
The Nixons.
Yeah. Great album, off a great album called Foma from probably like 95, I want to say.
Okay, I'm going to listen to it.
Lots of good songs on that album. But I think that song I associate more with my sister than this song.
Oh, now I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
The song I was thinking of, by the way, was Queens of the Stone Age. They have a song that might be called Little Sister. I can't remember, but my wife loves that song because she's a little sister. And also, it's a dope song.
I want to hear that now. I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
We'll trade. We saw that one live randomly at one of that, like, Dave Grohl used to put on this music festival in San Bernardino that was really cool. And Queens of the Stone Age was there, I think. And they were dope. They were awesome.
That's tight.
Yeah.
I want to listen to that one. Let's trade.
Okay. We'll listen to them at the same time.
Okay. Out loud.
Out loud, yeah. All right, Reid. With the background, we touched on it. Let's get into the lyrics.
Let's go.
So, here we go. First verse. Caught up in the middle. Had no choice. Had no choice. Birthright forgotten. So silent. No voice.
Okay, so obviously it's your turn to do you've done the research on this.
Right.
I'm kind of a little bit blind, but I did look up one thing.
How dare you?
I had to, because my whole interpretation of the lyrics was predicated on Scott Stapp actually having a sister.
That's fair.
So I confirmed that he did.
Yes.
And I guess he's got 2 blood sisters and possibly 2 like step or half sisters.
Yeah. He has 2 younger sisters,
Okay.
Amy and Amanda. And then I do think when his mom remarried, I'm pretty sure his stepdad had daughters from a previous marriage, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay. Well, my whole thing is predicated on that he has a little sister and possibly a sister who's a middle child.
Well, by the nature of 2 younger sisters.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be twins, but even then, one of them is technically in the middle.
Yeah. Well, unless they came out like it was a side-by-side birth.
I think that would have to be a C-section.
No. It's just it's the tie.
They zoomed out at the same time.
Yeah, like they're both a hand of both comes out first.
I don't think that's safe.
And they're like moment of birth and they high five.
That'd be pretty tight though. You'd
crawl
be
out.
bonded for life.
Yeah.
I mean, you already are, but
More so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the caught up in the middle, I automatically assumed he's referencing that this sister he's singing to, the specific one is the middle child.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I wanted it to be that because I'm a middle child.
That's fair.
So I identify with that because I often felt caught up in the middle. My older brother, 2.5 years older, like all-American guy, good at every sport he tried, like better than me at every sport he tried except for soccer and baseball.
Yeah.
But like, high honor roll, like got his master's in accounting in 5 years.
Is that a normal timeline?
No, master's usually takes an extra like 2 years.
So
He did 6 years in 5.
Okay.
My sister was like all
So
state.
he manipulated time.
Yeah,
That's pretty
he did.
powerful.
He did. He's Highlander. Is that what that show's
I
about?
don't know. I was thinking like Thanos or something.
Yeah, it's like the Adam Sandler film
Click.
Yeah,
That's better. Let's go with that. He's like Click.
My sister was also very good in school and like all state basketball, like sophomore through senior year.
And Texas is a big state.
Yeah, I was like decent at everything and like made B's.
Beast.
But I was a lot of
best.
I was a lot of fun. I had a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
bet.
fun. Anyway, so caught up in the middle, I see is that had no choice. I think it's just like you don't have a choice when you're born. You don't have a choice where you fall in your family. Birthright forgotten. This is where it starts to get heavier for me. Because birthright is the concept of things like being due or owed to a person upon birth. It can include rights of like citizenship, inheritance.
You Google birthright?
Right to property. I just like wanted like a definition.
Okay.
It's like birthright forgotten. I think he's just hammering home like this is a person who was, at least in their own eyes, was neglected and like,
Yeah, I mean, I think based on your interpretation, just the birthright in my mind is like the right to kind of be loved, sort of. I don't know. I think by the nature of you being born into a family, like you're owed that sense of attention and love. So I think if the theme is neglect, like you've been kind of harping on, I think maybe that's the birthright that is forgotten, like her right to love in a family and to feel like she belongs.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I don't know if he's literally talking about like my inheritance, but I think it's more on the like, yeah, just like being treated well is a birthright by your, like,
Yeah.
Should be a birthright from your parents. Like
Right.
that they love you and pay attention to you and whatever.
Even if you suck at basketball.
Yeah, even if you're not very good at basketball and just want to fuck off and do fall plays.
Make a podcast about Creed.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So silent, no voice. I think the middle children are often expected to be kind of a quiet, compliant part of the family. You can truly feel like you don't have a voice sometimes. And I do think it's pretty unique, even if he's not referring to a middle child, even if it's just like a younger sister. I do think it's very unique and kind of cool that Scott was able to empathize deep enough to write a song from like her perspective and like actually like flag accurately those like emotions that she was feeling.
Right. Rather
cool.
than
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Rather than strictly from, I guess, his own perspective.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously it's imbued with his feelings on the matter, but yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's get to I don't know if I would call this the chorus or I guess the pre-chorus, but I see you, you know who, little sister, now realized little sister, overlooked little girl.
Yeah. I think it's just simple. I think it's Scott wanting his sister to truly be felt seen by somebody else and to know that like this song is him making that effort.
Right. I agree.
Like it's a selfless thing to do. What do you think about it? Although they need to turn it into a song that went on a platinum record that launched their career. So maybe not totally selfless. But he didn't know it was gonna. He didn't know this album was gonna blow up when he wrote this song. He probably wrote the song at Chili's.
I mean, that one, he definitely wrote the song at Chili's. Two, I don't think that's fair to say that you can't like, write something that comes from the heart that isn't also possibly intended to make like money. Yeah, because like otherwise, if you think those elements are completely disparate, then every single song would be about just like nothing.
It is, man.
Yeah.
What's this life for?
This is a Nietzsche podcast.
That was a tease to the next episode.
That's a wrong song.
That's a tease to the next episode.
Pretty good. I agree, though. I think this whole pre-chorus is intending to give her a voice and like just a reminder that even if she feels lost or neglected, that he's giving her the attention that he feels she deserves and reminding her that she's worthy of everything. And I guess now realized little sister is sort of like, I don't know. I think now that he's writing this song is sort of the fact that makes her realized. Like, does that make sense?
That makes her realized?
Yeah.
Yeah. I struggle with that a little bit. I think it's like, I don't know. It's either she's feels realized or like this line is like marking the moment when like he realized like, oh, this is what she was going through.
Yeah. I think it's like a different meaning of the word, like to realize something. I don't think is like to come to an understanding of, but like it's making it real. And does that like,
yeah.
So I think it's what you kind of alluded to. I think by nature of him making the song and giving her the attention that she deserves is making her like a more fully realized person capable of more.
Yep.
Because previously she was overlooked.
Yeah. I think that's pretty straightforward. I think she was being overlooked and forgotten about and maybe written off. And this is like Scott being like, dude, I get it. I feel you.
You're realized.
Yep, you're realized.
Okay, so moving on to what might also be the chorus. I'm not totally sure. Bottled up and empty, holding back. At loss, you're forgotten, getting back, get back. And then it repeats that.
I think it's overall, I took this as more empathizing with his sister and her feelings. I think he knows she felt trapped and maybe kind of worthless, and maybe could never be the person she really wanted to be. Or maybe I'm projecting my own childhood feelings onto you and this song.
You can get better at basketball if
Somebody
you just keep trying.
Teach me how to play basketball and love me. Please. Just all I want to do is hoop and hug. Mom and Dad.
That sounds like a great podcast.
Hoop and hug, baby.
Yeah. I think bottled up and empty, holding back to me means the fact that like just not getting that attention or recognition makes her feel like she's, holding in all these emotions, and she has to hold back on what she can give because it's just not being reciprocated in the way that she needs. And then at loss, I think is a little confusing because it's not as obvious as the other ones. But with regard to the rest of the line, I feel like you're forgotten is obviously like she feels neglected and unseen. So that kind of requires her to withhold, I think, what she can give, because she's not getting anything in return. I think she has to just get back and keep to herself because it's too painful to give and not receive.
Okay. I like that. I interpreted it a little different. I think this is one of the harder lines in the song.
I think so too.
Because like at loss isn't a real saying.
As far as we know.
It's not. I would like Google to make sure. I'm like, is this something I just haven't been using? I think he could be just shortening because he had to fit it in, the phrase at a loss, which can mean like uncertainty.
Yeah, that makes more sense because it's like, what else can she do? She has to get back.
Yeah. So I think it means uncertain, and she still holds the feeling of being forgotten as a kid. The forgotten getting back, I struggle with this one too. I landed on Scott is kind of getting her back to her childhood through this song. Like it's a journey of like, let's go back, let's talk about it, let's heal.
Okay.
So I think that way when he says get back at the end of that line and like he repeats the get back, get back, get back, I think of it as not a like command for her to get away from him, but as encouragement of like, you can get back there and heal.
Oh, I like that.
And I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think this makes Scott Stapp the greatest feminist of all time.
I think you could put it down in the record books.
Like, right?
As Scott Stapp, the greatest feminist of all time. Better than Barack Obama.
Wait, you think he's the greatest feminist
Joe
of all time?
Biden.
Are you just naming politicians?
Yes, because
Mitt Romney.
I'm really struggling to come up with any.
I mean, the greatest feminist of all time would probably be
Mother Teresa?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or Joe Biden.
I don't think it's Joe Biden. I think it was probably John Quincy Adams. If we're sticking to presidents, which apparently you are.
Yep.
like greatest feminist of all time. Well, let me think about all the presidents we've had real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, first of all, the greatest feminist of all time is God. So you're wrong.
Quit kissing ass, dude.
Sorry.
Quit kissing ass. He doesn't love you. Or she.
Or she.
Yeah, I don't know.
Counting blue cars.
Schwalla reference.
Yes. Okay, so this is the last verse. Expectations of another, love given to the younger, broken father, broken brother, emptiness feeds the hunger.
I love this part.
Me too. This is the best.
Yeah, I think it's expectations of another. I think she had no expectations on her, and they were for her older sibling. And again, like as a middle child, like I often felt like that growing up. Like my brother was like set the standard and was given a lot of attention and praise for it. And I think like just love given to the younger, like by nature, the youngest is, and not like it's malicious, but they're always going to be babied longer. They just saw it. And especially because my younger she was the only girl,
right?
The only female. It was male, male, female. So I think it's like, yeah, the youngest one is often like given a different type of love. Maybe not the most love, but like it's just different.
I got the most love.
If you talk like that, I'm gonna
Sorry.
kick you in your balls
Okay.
and rip them from your.
No, you've explained enough.
Okay. So broken father, broken brother. He's calling out the past to me, calling out their father, and then he's got to be calling out himself because there's no other brother that his sisters have, right? He's
Correct.
the only brother. Cool. So like, we know Scott was like had troubled youth, or at least like a disrupted youth, and was probably did some bad shit. Like, I want to know what their dad do.
We'll get into it.
Okay, cool. The emptiness feeds the hunger. I don't know if it's. I mean, it's obviously a metaphor. Otherwise, it's just no duh. Oh,
I think
my stomach's empty. I'm hungry.
I really like this line. This is one of my favorite lines. I think in this context, the emptiness is the emptiness she feels from the neglect or the other shit going on in their family, and that obviously, the more neglect she feels, the more hungry she is for love and normalcy.
Okay.
But I think the emptiness feeds the hunger, that like obvious dichotomy of being fed but being more hungry. I think that's a really kind of brilliant line.
We're pretty similar on that interpretation. I didn't necessarily interpret the hunger as like hungry for love, but I did. Like, to me, feeling like the emptiness is, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. But can feeling worthless be used as motivation? Yeah, but like to what? To just exist as kind of a forgotten child? To
Well, it's like your
fight
worthlessness
back?
at basketball
Hey,
makes you want to work better to not be so bad at it.
Andrew's a communist.
That was a different episode's
Yeah,
bit.
but you're
you
still a
can't bring back
communist.
that bit. Okay.
Anyway, I think it's, in this instance, I interpreted it as hunger to figure out, like, on your own how to be yourself and how to like protect yourself to an extent.
Cool.
Because I think that's something I felt was like, well, the other siblings are getting more guidance and attention, and I get to figure this out on my own, and that can either make you quit or it can just make you hungry to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Thank you.
I like the motivation aspect of it.
Thanks.
So that really only leaves one unique line left, and that's just him saying change a few times at the end.
Yep. And I actually think it's a nice cap on the song. I think he's saying that she can change the way she feels about her childhood if she wants. And he's, via this song, encouraging her to do that. Like, almost like, hey, I get it. I may not have been there with you, but I'm there with you now. We can go back and kind of like view this differently because you have someone now empathizing with you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I said too. I just think that by the nature of him presenting this song and these feelings to her, it's like it's a point at which they can move forward with this new perspective and initiate change for the positive.
I wonder if they did. Do you know if they did? Because you did the research on this.
No, I don't.
She actually sued him after this album came out.
I think they have a good relationship. I know that I know he has two sisters, and I don't know the extent to which they're still in each other's lives because I'm not a fucking therapist.
Yeah.
But I do know that his sister Amy did backing vocals on "Don't Stop Dancing."
Really?
We'll get there.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Also, you'd be a terrible therapist.
Why? Because I say fuck a lot?
No, because you just point out my problems.
Oh, and
how
how bad you are at basketball?
My deficiencies, but you don't have any solutions for me getting better.
I do. You suck at basketball. Take more free throws.
That's okay.
Actionable change.
Okay, great.
Okay.
It's like you're depressed. Be happier.
Is it really that hard?
God, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps.
Watch a funny show.
Ha ha. Hoop time. Air Bud.
Oh, yeah. Watch Air Bud. You'll be happy. Okay, so those are the lyrics to the song. In terms of facts about the song specifically, I got nothing. I scoured and scoured and scoured, and I couldn't find anything specifically about why he wrote this song or how he felt about the song or anything. So I resorted to learning a little bit more about Scott's childhood from his memoir, Sinner's Creed. And I think, although it's not like an indication of why he wrote the song, I think having some of that context may influence your understanding of the song or just paint it differently. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. So when Scott was super young, his father left his mother and left her with him and his two little sisters, Amy and Amanda. Scott specifically said in the book that he took it upon himself to be like the family's protector at that stage because he was like the quote unquote man of the house, like the movie with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Chevy Chase.
Underrated film. We're going to watch it together after this.
I actually watched it pretty recently. So fun fact, Scott Stapp was actually born Anthony Scott Flippin, which is a sick last name. Like, I'd be flippin'.
Flippin' awesome.
Yeah. When he was a preteen, Scott's mom began a relationship with Dr. Stephen Allen Stapp. And Scott says that his relationship with Steve was great at first. And Scott sort of viewed this new guy entering his life as like a new beginning. I think he also mentioned that Dr. Steve didn't have any sons. So like he looked at Scott like obviously like a son, but just sort of like a new beginning for him too.
He looked at his stepson like a son. How kind of him.
Like in Man of the House with Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So at that point, when they got remarried, when his mom got remarried, Scott changed his name from Anthony Flippin to Scott Stapp. Boom. Obviously, as you'll see, Scott has a lot of emotions with regard to Dr. Steve, and he wouldn't classify Dr. Steve in this way because I think the relationship is pretty complicated, but I think I can as a third-party perspective. Dr. Steve was a piece of shit.
Oh, no.
He controlled how Scott prayed and his connection with his faith, what he watched on TV, the music he listened to. He was obsessed with Scott's work and his curfews. And it's one thing to be super strict, but also he was just like constantly beating Scott, like physically. And Scott would always try to maintain a strong face for his sisters and his mother. He also tells a story in the book where Steve took one of his sisters into a room for a beating, and it sounded like it was getting really violent and like she was being pushed up against a wall. So Scott rushed in with a baseball bat, like broke down the door and said he'd kill him if he continues hurting her, and he'll do it in Steve's sleep if he has to. And thereafter, Steve deadbolted his door at night.
Jeez.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that influences the way I look at the song just because of, like, the shit that they had to go through as a family, especially as, you know, at a really young, impressionable age. Because at this time, Scott was probably, like, preteen to teen. And he was getting in his own sort of trouble, which obviously could have been influenced by Steve and was made worse and exacerbated by Steve. So it's messy shit. It's not fun, but that makes me feel like some of the way that kind of painted the way I look at the song, just in the fact that like it really gives me the image that Scott like wants to protect his little sister.
Yeah. I mean, geez, first of all, fuck Dr. Steve.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like that's scummy as hell. God, I did not know that. I mean, yeah, perhaps the sister he's singing to, it was the one that the Dr. Steve was hardest on.
Yeah.
And maybe the mom, it sounds like Scott was the one who was sticking up for her, and that like their mom wasn't stepping in. Dr. Steve wasn't realizing his own mistakes. So it's like, yeah, I mean, the song makes more sense.
Yeah. So that really gave me like when I read through the lyrics again after reading that, just the fact that like it really makes that image of Scott being the protector and like not just about neglect, but also about like abuse, I think is imbued in there too.
God, why does it have to get so heavy?
Because it's fucking Creed.
Why
dude.
did Dr. Steve have to be such a piece of shit?
I don't know.
This could have just been like a I love my sister song.
It could have been like he was Chevy Chase from Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and he like was trying really hard to be a good stepdad.
Petition for Man of the House 2.
That might exist already.
Does it?
It's like one of those, it could be one of those Disney movies that went straight to DVD.
Where they like replaced all the leads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Instead of Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas, it's like
Cedric the Entertainer and
and Jonathan Taylor, whoever the other brother was on Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, Mark something.
Mark
might be his name.
Mark McGuire.
quick aside, I watched like a 45-minute behind the scenes on Man in the House on YouTube. What is it? Like E! True Hollywood Story?
Why?
Fascinating.
Why did you really watch the actual movie recently?
The whole thing like a month ago.
Why?
Because it was there.
Did you intentionally do it? Like you sat down like, oh, I have a couple hours before I go to bed. I'm going to watch this film, or like it was just on TV?
No, I watched it on YouTube on my phone and I kind of just listened to it. It was really interesting.
What a weird thing to do.
I'm pretty weird sometimes.
Dude.
All right. Anyway, Reid, let's get to our final thoughts and let's rate this bad boy.
Okay. As someone who like has a little sister, I like the song because of that. But overall, I gotta be honest, like, and I feel a little bit bad now knowing that it was kind of dealing with some heavy shit from their past.
I mean, like all the songs on this album and a lot of Creed are colored by like heavy shit. So
yeah, but this is like child abuse.
Yeah, that's true.
That said, this is my least favorite song on the album.
Really?
I'm gonna score it lower than I've scored any other song.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that score is?
That score is 1.25.
Wow.
1.25, yes.
I feel like that's going as far as to say like you maybe don't even like this song.
I mean, I don't, it's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say that I don't like it, but I like it the least.
Okay.
Where do you fall?
I'm a little different. I think the top starts again with like a Tremonti little riff, and I really dig how it's like mostly the guitar and then like the drum just freaking kicks in, and then it just becomes a very like, I don't know, it's like the whole attitude of the song sort of changes at that point, and I really dig it. Researching the song and doing it more and speaking to you about it has actually, I feel like, made me appreciate it more, because I sort of feel like the song is sort of infused with this feeling of love in a way, and I think that's kind of cool, and that's probably like an unfair way to judge how much I like the song, but I don't know, I think something is really special about like sibling relationships.
Agreed.
And it feels like not wholesome, because obviously it comes from a really shitty place, but just the fact that he like, you know, assuming that our interpretation is completely right and not, and this isn't about like Minnie Mouse or something.
No, we are smart and correct.
Okay. But I think that makes it a little special to me too. And I do think the chorus is like pretty catchy and like head bobby, and I like it more than a lot of other songs. I think it sticks out in a good way. So I would give it 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it falls pretty in the middle for me.
Okay. That's for reference. Like you gave Torn 3.25.
That sounds right. Because
Yeah.
I think Toward's better, but I think this one is like up there. Any other final thoughts?
No, I did enjoy the process of like going through this and listening to it on repeat and making notes about it, because like to me it was kind of a forgotten song.
Yeah.
And again, this whole album, like looking back, means a lot to me, just from like where I was that point in life and like the memories that it embedded in me. So even though it's not like, probably it's my least favorite song on the album, I still really fucking enjoyed like plowing through it.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Well, Reid, all that said, I think it's time that we make our escape.
Let's go there.
For my own podcast, this has been Andrew Colin.
I'm Reid Fenlaw.
Bye.
See ya.